Okay, let's talk about the intro to absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from zero on a number line. Absolute value is represented with two solid bars around the value. So creating our number line, again, you want 0 in the middle, arrows on the ends, and we're going to go from -5 to +5. Let's look at some examples of absolute value. If you have the absolute value of -3, so what you need to do is go to your number line, place a dot above -3. Absolute value is defined by distance, how far it is to 0. So let's count. 1, 2, 3. So -3 is 3 units from 0. So the absolute value of -3 is 3. Distance is always judged being positive. So any absolute value problem that you're given, the outcome is going to be positive. Now let's look at the absolute value of +3. So use your number line, put a dot on +3, and let's count how far it is from 0. 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of 3 is 3. Now in example 3, don't get fooled by the fraction. So if I'm at -4.5, how far is -4.5 from 0? It is 4.5 jumps. So the absolute value of -4.5 is 4.5. Go ahead and try the next two problems. Make sure you pause the video. The absolute value of -13 is just 13, and the absolute value of 29 is 29. Now let's try some true or false. So absolute value of -2.5. I want to solve this first. The absolute value of -2.5 is 2.5. Now let's compare. 2.5 is greater than 9. That is false. -3 compared to the absolute value of -5. Solve your absolute value first. The absolute value of -5 is 5. Now compare. -3 is greater than 5. That is false. Pause the video and try number 3. Now for this last one, again, solve the absolute value -15 to get 15, and when you compare, you get true. 4.5 is less than 15. Now let's talk about ordering the following in ascending order. Remember, ascending means you're going up, like an airplane. So you want to start all the way down at your lowest value, your least value, and you want to work your way up in the sky like an airplane to your greatest value. So in this first example, in order to order these values, you need to simplify them. So absolute value of -2 is 2. Absolute value of 3 is 3. If it helps, you can use the number line from above. So for example, I can put points on my number line. My first number is 2. Put a dot there. My next one is a half, so that'll be between 0 and 1. I have -3, and then I have the absolute value of +3, which is just 3. So now that kind of helps you order your values. If you're going from least to greatest, you start with the dot that is further left on the number line. So my first value for my answer should be -3. From there, it'd be 1/2, then the absolute value of -2, and then the absolute value of 3. So let's write that down. Please make sure you note that I am continuing to write these in the absolute value form. You always need to write your answer in the original form. Go ahead and pause the video and try the next 2 problems. Check your answers and ask your teacher if you have any questions.